Welcome to Tricks of the Estrade channel. Today is the 16th of February 2017. As I always say on all our videos, and I recommend that you watch the primer video and you watch the Zayn Malik video and the video on Marilyn Monroe, and that you download a document that's going to be attached to every video that we make, and you read it. It will help you, it will educate you, and you'll learn a lot of stuff. So, like I always say on all our videos, I'm not against anybody being a transgender, right? What I'm against is the organized, right? Organized system, right? Of taking kids, transgendering them at a young age, and taking the choice that God has given to everybody in this world. The choice to be able to choose what you want to do and what you don't want to do. Taking that choice away and forcing these kids to live in a sex that's not the sex that they were born in, right? So that's what I'm against. But it's a hoax. It's a fantasy when anybody does that, because like I always say, just because a man takes off his genitals, right, and adds something in there that looks like a female genital doesn't make you female. Because one, men don't have wide hips. They don't have, the pelvis is not wide enough. So that's why a female pelvis is wide enough so she can have sex and bear children, right? Secondly, the muscle area around the pelvis of a male is not the same as a female. The pelvis of a male cannot support vaginal sex. Reason being, the way the pelvis is shaped like a heart. If you draw your heart, the way you see hearts being drawn, that's the way a male pelvis is shaped on the inside, from the bottom, if you look at it from the bottom. With a female, the pelvis is wider because the angle between the legs, the pelvis is much more wider. It's called the pelvic arch. And the muscles are designed there for her to be able to have sex and bear children. So any man taking off his genitals and saying that, trying to construct something in there, it's not going to work, because first of all, the pelvis is not going to support that. It's shallow. It's not deep like a female's own. And then biologically, your DNA is still going to remain the DNA of a male. Because people don't know this, males have X and Y DNA in their body, all right? And they carried it in their sperm. The only difference is, like, a male is still going to look like a male even with the X and Y DNA that he carries, because that's the way God designed it. For females, female carry the XX, only female DNA. So everything in their DNA is going to be female, the way they look and what they carry. So when you go to a hospital, even though you said you're transgendering or whatever the case might be, which is a hoax, all right? Because all this organization is just to portray more and more transsexuals. It's a hoax. It's a medical scam that's taking money, right? And so if you go to a hospital to get treated, you will still get treated like a male. No doctor is going to see a male and treat you like a female, even if you have fake breasts and you've been taking hormones, because real women don't take hormones to remain female. So it's a great hoax. And one of the things I wanted to bring, I know I'm just on my regular like ramble, but I just like passing information. I wanted just to talk about the reason for, homosexuality being so prevalent in a society. It starts with the food. So we have an over-sexualized society. It's like, sex is like, they want you to think about sex in such a way that it's the only thing you think about. But there's a reason for it. It's so that you can ask good questions like I ask, or questions or knowledgeable questions, and get answers. Then when you be fixated on things that you shouldn't be fixated on, so that you can lay down for the new world order, all right? So one of the reasons why homosexuality is so prevalent in society is because of the food. The food's being fed with so much hormones, all right? Now, there's a certain type of chemical that's present in like most foods. And most foods, in the case that foods that have any plastic and food that have any canned food, it's called BPA. Now, BPA, if you want to read more about BPA, I'm going to go to a website here. I'm going to highlight this for you to look at, right? Oh, sorry, that's not the website. Here's the website right here, right? You can pause this, right, and read it. You can pause this video and take down that website and you read it. And it's on the environmental health perspectives. And if you go down here, we'll say most plastics produce estrogenic chemicals, a potential health problem that can be solved. Now, why do you think these people just deliberately put BPA? Like I've always said before, the people at the top of the hierarchy who control everything, the news you hear, all the industries, the technology, the government, politics is the Vatican. All right? I've always said that. So with the BPA thing, is like it's in your canned food, it's in your water bottles, in anything that has plastic at all. Now what happens is that BPA breaks down into estrogen when it's exposed to your body, when you consume it. So let's say, for example, the water you drink in a BPA in a plastic bottle, right? For some reason, that water is good. The BPA is going to digest into the water. And when you drink it, your body turns it into estrogen. Now, remember that estrogen is the chemical which determines a male or a female, the levels of estrogen. Females have a high level of estrogen in their body. So that gives them the feminine and female secondary characteristics, right? Like how, let's say, slender a woman might be, her skin is lighter, softer, and she's more feminine looking, breast and all that. In a male, the estrogen level is very low, right? The reason the estrogen content is very low is because men carry both X and Y DNA in their body. The X is to make sure that you have daughters. The Y part is to make sure that you have sons. So for that minimal amount, right, of sperm that you carry in your body, the X DNA, the estrogen is required for that, for the X part of that. But the testosterone level has to be high enough for you to be able to create sperm. Now, if you, like I said, you can pause this video and read about that. And the reason why this is prevalent is so that when men consume estrogen, right, because biologically you're meant to have more testosterone, it makes you look feminine. And that feminine thing and that chemical in your body, if you're a man who does not think like me, you don't reason things through, it starts making you get attracted to males, because now you're acting like a female. I don't know if I'm making that clear. The estrogen is making you act more feminine. So now you thinking you're a woman, your biology now starts changing, and you now start thinking you're female, and you get attracted to male when you're a man. All right? So how that works, and especially with the attack on the senses that's carried out through media, which tells you it's okay to be with a man or okay to be with a woman if you're of the same sex. So this attack on your mind, softens you things up for you, right? And you start getting drawn to men without knowing. Because if you're led only from your biology, because this is what these people want you to do, they want you to be led by your senses and not be led by your intellect, by your mind and your spirit, which God gave to you, which makes you makes you think and reason things through. They want you to be led by your biology, by your flesh. That's why the Bible says the flesh is weak, right? So they don't want you to be led by your senses. Now, God gave you your senses to interact with your physical world. He did not give you your senses for you to be led by it. Okay? And another thing that they do with this mindless attack is that, they present females to you without you knowing that is male. So when you look at this, because your body, your biology knows when it's looking at someone, whether it's male or female. But if your senses, if you're not aware in your mind, okay, your body's going to do all the controlling. So when you look at a male and you think it's female, it triggers the wrong hormones. And when it triggers the wrong hormones, indirectly your biology is gonna be leading you. If you're mindless, that means you cannot reason or think things through. You're gonna be led with all the mind control and propaganda that's being passed around you. You think it's okay to be with a man, and so these are part of the reasons that we have, with homosexuality. These are the things that lead to homosexuality. So you can go read this up as I'm saying right now. You can pause this video, like I said, and you can see the objectives here of what this test was trying to do. It says here, we sought to determine whether commercially available plastic resins and products, including baby bottles. You see what I'm talking about? The taking of children, all right? And transgender baby bottles and other products advertised as bisphenol A, BPA, free release chemicals having EA. EA means estrogenic, right? Compounds, estrogen, all right? So you can pause this and read on. So with that said, let's show you how they do, the body contouring thing. Now, what is a Brazilian butt lift, is what people do to have more shape and figure, right? Now, the trick is that they say that it's females that need this, but I don't see how a female would need this because you already have an hourglass figure. So a woman could say she wants to do it extra on it, but that's fine. So here's a Brazilian butt lift and how that, a male can have that, like a hourglass figure if he goes into surgery. Let's read about it. I can highlight this for you just to read. It says this, right? But you can follow my house. It says the Brazilian butt lift is a surgical technique for augmenting the buttocks, right? The procedure itself begins with fat extraction by liposuction, right? Will remove fat cells from selected areas of your body, abdomen, thigh, or lower back. Right? The fat suction during liposuction is then processed and purified. Only the best of those fat cells are strategically transferred into your buttocks by hundreds of microfat injections. During the healing period, the surrounding tissue will graft onto those purified fat cells, completing the augmentation process. When it's all said and done, you wind up with a perky, curvy, and highly enviable bottom. All right, can you see that now? Can you see that? Then there's another thing they call body contouring. Let me read about it for you to see what they do. So body contouring means after you've done, like, you try to tighten the skin around the fat areas that you've removed, right? So it tightens up the skin and makes it look, much more like firm and beautiful like a female. So body contouring procedures, it includes, right, facelift, sagging of the mid-face, jowls, and neck. So you can see how they can trick you with the neck areas and make it look feminine, all right? Breast lift, sagging flattened breast, all right? Tummy tuck, apron of excess skin hanging over the abdomen. Lower body lift, sagging of the abdomen, buttocks, groin, and outer thighs, all right? Medial thigh lift, sagging of the inner, outer, and mid thigh. Arm lift, sagging of the upper arms. Does it make sense now? Well, so don't fall for it. If you're a man, except you're homosexual, then that's your thing, and there's nothing we can do about it, right? So, have a good day, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Thank you, and bye-bye.